What's happening in the tech world? The pace is relentless, and staying ahead is everything. Get ready for the most critical updates you need to know, right here, right now. We've got game-changing news from Microsoft that impacts millions. First up, a major deadline is looming for over 700 million Windows users. Are you prepared? Then, we dive into a significant legal development for a Microsoft-owned company facing fallout from a massive data breach. Plus, a critical security vulnerability in Windows is being actively exploited, and we'll break down how it's being used. And finally, a change in the Microsoft Store could impact how you update your favorite apps. Don't miss a second. Stick around because you won't want to miss what's next. Subscribe now and hit that notification bell. A critical deadline approaches for millions. Microsoft has issued a stark warning to over 700 million Windows 10 users. Act now to remain protected against the latest security threats. This comes hot on the heels of the company patching over 100 security vulnerabilities, making this a crucial moment for everyone using the operating system. The deadline is rapidly approaching, with users having just 60 days to either select an extended support option for Windows 10 or upgrade to Windows 11 if their hardware permits. Windows 10 is set to officially retire on October 14, a date that now includes an unprecedented offer of an extended security update, ESU, for home users, a first for the platform. This directive directly impacts the vast majority of Windows 10 PCs currently in use, specifically citing Windows 10 version 22H2, Home, Pro, Enterprise, Education, and IoT Enterprise editions, as well as Windows 10 2015 LTSB and Windows 10 IoT Enterprise LTSB 2015. Microsoft's most significant announcement is the confirmation that the October 2025 monthly security update will be the last update available for these versions. After this date, devices running these versions will no longer receive monthly security and preview updates containing protections from the latest security threats. This means users have the current August update and 2 more monthly updates to make a decision. It is imperative to choose one of the available options to secure support beyond the October 14 end-of-life date. For those willing to use a Microsoft account and OneDrive, this extended support can be obtained for free. Alternatively, a paid option is available at $30, which can cover up to 10 PCs under a single account. Recent data indicates a near-even split in OS usage, with approximately 47% of all users running Windows 10 and 49% on Windows 11. Interestingly, these figures represent a shift from last month, when the numbers were 43% for Windows 10 and 53% for Windows 11. If this data is accurate, it suggests that Microsoft's decision to offer ESUs for home users may have reversed the momentum towards Windows 11 adoption. For home users, the enrollment process for ESUs is designed to be straightforward, with a wizard that makes it easy to enroll in ESU directly from your personal Windows 10 PC. The latest Windows 10 update now integrates this option directly within the settings menu, simplifying the process for millions. Adding an interesting layer to this transition, Windows Central has highlighted a potential privacy concern that might influence user decisions about switching from Windows 10, at least until the last possible moment. This concern centers around Recall, an AI-driven feature that continuously captures screenshots of desktop activity for analysis and retrieval, even including secure messaging platforms. Windows 10, by contrast, includes only limited AI features, mainly through Microsoft Edge and the optional Copilot app, both of which you can easily remove or disable. This gives you more control over your system and helps keep it feeling private and less intrusive. Windows 11, however, is integrating AI more deeply. With AI seems to be here to stay, not everyone is comfortable with that level of integration in the operating system. Coinciding with these Windows 10 ESU announcements, users of apps from the Microsoft Store are facing a different kind of update policy. Microsoft Store now limits indefinite app update delays to a maximum of 5 weeks, with a notification that clicking check for updates while paused does not bypass the restriction. While this change is intended to enhance app and OS security by ensuring users receive timely updates, It may also prompt some users to seek alternatives for their applications. The rationale behind this move is primarily security, aiming to ensure users install updates promptly to benefit from security-focused changes, though it removes the flexibility some users preferred. Don't get caught out by this looming deadline. Next, we'll look at how a major data breach has led to significant legal action. A significant legal settlement in the wake of a major data breach. Nuance, a prominent talk-to-text company now owned by Microsoft, has agreed to a $8.5 million settlement to resolve a class action lawsuit stemming from the widespread MOVEit transfer data breach. Importantly, Nuance has not admitted any liability as part of this proposed deal, which was filed in a Massachusetts federal court. This agreement aims to conclude litigation initiated by individuals who contended that Nuance failed to implement adequate security measures to protect their personal information, which was subsequently compromised by attackers exploiting a vulnerability in Progress Software's MOVEit transfer. Nuance, widely recognized for its medical transcription and speech recognition systems, found itself among hundreds of organizations impacted by the Clop ransomware gang's mass exploitation of the MOVEit transfer vulnerability in 2023. Court documents reveal that approximately 1.225 million individuals had their data exfiltrated from Nuance's MOVEit environment. The plaintiffs in the lawsuit accused Nuance of negligence, asserting that the company could have either prevented the incident or significantly mitigated its impact through reasonable data security measures. They also implicated MOVEit's developer, Progress, alleging that the vendor had not adequately informed users, including Nuance, that MOVEit required ongoing security management rather than a set-it-and-forget-it approach. Nuance, however, has contested these claims, arguing that it could not be considered negligent for relying on a product that was already trusted and deployed by thousands of businesses and government entities worldwide. The company emphasized its swift response once the vulnerability became public knowledge. It took its MOVEit instance offline, applied patches as they were released by Progress, and initiated its own internal investigation. Furthermore, court filings indicate Nuance's intention to argue that negligence could not be established due to a lack of direct contractual relationship with the affected individuals. The company stated that the data in question was supplied by downstream healthcare providers and custodians. Nuance denies these allegations and any fault or liability in this matter, the memorandum explicitly states. Despite these repeated denials, Nuance has chosen to settle the case rather than proceed to trial. If the settlement is approved, affected individuals will receive payments and access to credit monitoring services. The $8.5 million settlement is considered relatively modest in the context of MOVEit class action lawsuits, where payouts have often reached the high single digits or even tens of millions of dollars. What makes Nuance's situation particularly noteworthy is its operation within the healthcare sector. In this industry, exposed patient data attracts heightened scrutiny from both regulators and the media. Nuance has consistently positioned itself as a victim of the Clop campaign, which indiscriminately targeted exposed MOVEit servers globally rather than as a culpable party. The MOVEit breach has since become one of the most heavily litigated cyber incidents in U.S. history. Progress Software itself is facing a growing number of lawsuits, and numerous class action suits have been filed against its customers. For Nuance, this settlement may provide a much-needed resolution to its MOVEit-related challenges, although the broader legal discourse surrounding liability in supply chain breaches remains ongoing. This settlement highlights the ongoing risks in the digital supply chain. Next, we're turning our attention to an active exploitation of a Windows vulnerability putting users at risk. A critical Windows vulnerability is actively being exploited. Cybersecurity researchers have uncovered the exploitation of a previously patched security flaw in Microsoft Windows, which is being used by threat actors to deploy the PipeMagic malware in ransomware attacks. The attacks specifically leverage CVE 2025-29824, a privilege escalation vulnerability affecting the Windows Common Log File System, CLFS. Microsoft had addressed this vulnerability in April 2025, according to a joint report from Kaspersky and Bizone. PipeMagic was first documented in 2022 as part of Ransom X ransomware campaigns targeting industrial companies in Southeast Asia. This malware is designed to function as a full-fledged backdoor, granting remote access and enabling the execution of a wide array of commands on compromised systems. In earlier attacks, threat actors were observed exploiting CVE 2017-144, a remote code execution vulnerability in Windows SMB, to infiltrate victim infrastructure. More recent infection chains, observed in October 2024 in Saudi Arabia, have utilized a fake OpenAI ChatGPT application as a lure to deliver the malware. In April of this year, Microsoft identified a threat actor it tracks as Storm 2460 as being responsible for exploiting CVE 2025-29824 and deploying PipeMagic. A distinctive characteristic of PipeMagic is its method of creating named pipes for communication. Researchers Sergei Lozhkin, Leonid Bezvershenko, Kirill Korkemny, and Ilya Savliev noted that the malware generates a random 16-byte array to create a named pipe formatted as \\\, \pipe\1, hex string. Following this, a thread is initiated that continuously creates this pipe, attempts to read data from it, and then destroys it. This communication protocol is essential for the backdoor to transmit encrypted payloads and notifications. PipeMagic operates as a plugin-based, modular malware. It utilizes a domain hosted on Microsoft Azure to stage additional components. Attacks observed in 2025 targeting Saudi Arabia and Brazil employed a Microsoft Help Index file, metafile, MSHI, as a loader. This loader, in turn, unpacks C-hash code responsible for decrypting and executing embedded shellcode. The injected shellcode is designed for 32-bit Windows systems and loads an unencrypted executable that is embedded within the shellcode itself. Kaspersky also reported uncovering PipeMagic loader artifacts that mimicked a ChatGPT client in 2025, similar to samples seen in October 2024. These samples have been observed employing DLL hijacking techniques to execute a malicious DLL disguised as a Google Chrome update file, googloopdate, DLL. Regardless of the initial loading method, the ultimate goal is the deployment of the PipeMagic backdoor, which supports various modules. The repeated detection of PipeMagic in attacks on organizations in Saudi Arabia and its emergence in Brazil indicate that the malware remains active and that its developers are continuously enhancing its capabilities. The 2025 versions show improvements aimed at achieving persistence on victim systems and facilitating lateral movement within internal networks. In these more recent attacks, the threat actors used the procdump tool, renamed to dllost, exe, to extract memory from the LSASS process. Microsoft describes PipeMagic as a flexible and persistent framework. The malware can dynamically execute payloads while maintaining robust command and control, C2 communication, through a dedicated networking module. As the malware receives and loads payload modules from its C2 server, it provides the threat actor with granular control over code execution on the compromised host. By delegating network communication and backdoor functions to discrete modules, PipeMagic maintains a modular, stealthy, and highly extensible architecture, making it particularly challenging to detect and analyze. Storm 2460's attacks have targeted various sectors, including information technology, financial services, and real estate, across the US, Europe, South America, and the Middle East. Staying secure requires constant vigilance against evolving threats. Now, let's look at a change within the Microsoft Store that might affect your app updates. Microsoft Store updates its policy on automatic app updates. In a shift from previous practices, the Microsoft Store has reportedly disabled the ability for users to indefinitely opt out of automatic app updates. Previously, users could navigate to the Settings menu within the Microsoft Store to disable automatic updates for Windows applications and games. However, as noted by German site Deskmodder and reported by PCMag, this setting has now been changed to restrict users to a maximum delay of 5 weeks. After this period, Windows Update will presumably install updates automatically, regardless of user preference. While the stated reasons for this change are security and stability, the article raises concerns about potential malicious applications. The author points to instances where companies have acquired popular browser extensions only to inject them with adware, and where apps have been hijacked to spread malware like viruses and Trojans. The integration of the Microsoft Store with Windows Update and Microsoft Defender is intended to provide enhanced security compared to manual downloads or app-specific update systems. However, even these integrated systems are not infallible, and App Store security has been bypassed numerous times in the past. Beyond security, users may have valid reasons for wanting to avoid automatic updates, such as disliking changes introduced in a new version or encountering broken features. The practice of saving installers for older, stable versions of programs is cited as an example of this user preference. The article also references Michael, a technology journalist with a decade of experience, who covers a wide range of tech topics and is known for his expertise in mechanical keyboards and desktop setups. His previous work has appeared in publications like Android Police, Digital Trends, Wired, Lifehacker, and How to Geek, and he has covered major industry events such as CES and Mobile World Congress. Michael, who lives in Pennsylvania, enjoys kayaking in his free time. This change in the Microsoft Store policy affects how users manage their software. We've covered a lot of ground today, so let's wrap it up with a quick recap. That's all the critical tech news you need. Microsoft is urging Windows 10 users to prepare for the end of support with a looming October deadline. Nuance, a Microsoft-owned company, has settled a class action lawsuit for $8.5 million following the MOVEit data breach. A critical Windows vulnerability is being actively exploited to deploy the PipeMagic malware in ransomware attacks. And the Microsoft Store has changed its policy, limiting opt-outs for automatic app updates to 5 weeks. Don't miss out on future updates. Like this video, subscribe to Microsoft Sphere, ring that notification bell, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Follow us on all our social channels for more tech insights.